Hi guys, and today I'm going to be speaking on a couple of agents that were out of the San Diego sector, Border Patrol. There's there's such things as you know internal affairs. There's also a corruption team that they created down at to to work this the what would be the western southern side of the United States. So these teams are designed to actually fight corruption and I don't know what the extent of this actual investigation because they don't actually act how this came to be, but in itself is kind of strange. But then again, what the actual agent was kind of odd too, and it consisted of actual a line agent from the southwest border. He was actually in a station where they were 100%, so they had coverage throughout the border, throughout their section. Uh, every so many feet, there was actually a unit. So uh, apparently, there was a part of that actual area where there was no high tech equipment, no surveillance cameras. So, according to the actual document, he ended up buying three backpacks, regular school backpacks. He bought three of actual backpacks and proceeded to meet with this actual confidential informant. But see, that's where it gets kind of vague. Now, did they send somebody to actually offer this agent the temptation? It's kind of vague and it's kind of suspect. But he uh, he showed up for a meeting with three backpacks, handed them over, and they proceeded to actually come into an agreement. And these backpacks were to be loaded for up to 6 pounds of the good stuff. So uh, this took place three separate times, but the investigators, they knew from the get go. But this guy doesn't have any priors, any kind of nothing prior to this. So now this takes place. He actually meets up with the. He actually retrieves it, uh, finds a way to get back to the station, uh, drops his backpack up in his personal vehicle. You know, nobody can suspect anything because it's your backpack. You can drop it off in your own personal vehicle and then continue back to where you were working. He could have used the excuse of a bathroom break or anything that well, just any excuse. And you have to use your restroom. That's good enough right there. So you go back to the station, use the restroom, and then you can actually go back to your point of duty and continue your night or your day. So this happened three times. He meets with the actual confidential informant and he hands it over. And apparently the third time is when they actually arrest him showing up to work. And they had all this ratings. They had everything set up because it was a setup. And I think it really was a setup because how this came to be, I don't, I it does not say, but yet, he's charged with it, and he's up for a couple of years, and probably get about 8 years. And the fines are hefty. These fines are hefty, and they do this as a deterrent. The time and the actual fines. The fines are gonna be way more than what you actually get for your actual you know your career basically. And now this other one here. Okay, so I've always talked about when I was actually working down there that I kept it for my uh, extended family, for the fact that I just I wanted to focus on my career. I didn't want to have to worry about nobody knowing, nobody, just to avoid the whole situation. Because you never know, you can get offered. People can come up with amazing actual requests. And and I kept myself busy and I kept out of the actual loop. And so they question. This is a different agent. They carry it's Border Patrol still. They question him about his knowledge or his actual if he knew anybody in a cartel or associated with the cartel, and and they said no. He said no, he didn't know that. And by the way, that is one of your questionnaires in your background check, and that's how you actually that's part of one of the requirements that you actually divulge if you're actually truthful. If you do know somebody in the actual game, in the actual cartels, in the actual trafficking of anything, you have to be honest with them. If it's a family member, especially, and they determined that he was actually not telling the truth, but he was already went through the academy. He was already sworn in. He was already working out in the field. He wasn't a rookie anymore. He was actually there for a few years. And the only conclusion that I can come up with is that somebody got caught along the way, or somebody got jammed up, and as a last ditch effort, or last for whatever reason, they threw his name out there as to them knowing this actual agent. As dumb as it seems, I mean, you be surprised what people would actually try to say to actually get out of a situation um, that can give him a lot of time. Give him some few years. So for them to determine that he was not being truthful about that, I'm thinking that somebody got jammed up along the line, gave up his name that he knows him or he's a relative. Just trying to throw that name out so maybe they can get a break or they can call him. Maybe we got just you never know. You never know, and that's what I really suspect that actually how it went down. How it went down, and that's that's the only conclusion I can come up with. But again, lying to a federal officer, it's punishable up to 5 years, depending on on how the judge looks at it. So, and the fines, of course, and you get fired. You get fired, and well, it doesn't look good, on your resume. But that's just a couple more there. Unless you guys come up with another scenario, how they came up with actually his knowledge of the actual cartel members. But then again, they do run background checks, but I don't think another background check would have actually came out. I don't think that this actual conclusion would have came out. Okay, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.